Hello, Myles.
Hey, Matt.
I've been playing a game this past week.
Yeah? What would that be?
A little game called Saints Row 4.
I think I've heard of such a game.
It is a fantastic game.
Oh, yeah?
From what this preview has shown me. If this preview is any indication of what the final game is going to be in August, it's going to be fantastic.
So it's going to be even crazier, big explosions.
Bigger, better,
More
bolder.
dubstep?
Yeah, 100% more dubstep than Saints Row the 3rd.
What about more furries?
I did not see any furries. But there are superpowers.
Superpowers!
And I'm going to...
Superpower president!
Of course, yeah. You're the President of the United States. And we'll get into that in a bit. So just hang tight.
Crossfade.
Leave it to the Saints. Brought to you by Friendly Fryer, the only choice in home cookware.
That he deserves a friendly fire.
So the beginning of this preview started with the Saints situated in the Middle East, and they were tasked with an operation they needed to complete. It felt very much like a generic third-person cover-based military shooter at first. I thought it was going to reveal itself as this new Saints Row video game that was made for them inside their world. By the end of this section, my theory was actually proved wrong, and I couldn't be happier about this because it actually ended in true Saints style, and the results were fantastic.
So I heard a rumor that the Saints are now in office.
Yeah, so if you didn't already know, Boss is the President of the United States now. After the whole beginning section, you're thrown right into the creation of your character. And it's all done in this really presidential way. The customization of the actual appearance of your character is basically the same as Saints Row the 3rd. The voices, however, are trying to convince you to pick them as president this time around. And there was a zombie voice in Saints Row the 3rd. This time around they've changed that to a voice that I couldn't be happier with. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I just want to let you know that it was a fantastic decision to include this as one of the voices.
Oh, the secrecy is killing me.
Morning, dear.
So it's hard to imagine topping the story of Saints Row the 3rd. Matt, why don't you enlighten us about the story for Saints Row 4?
Well, Myles, right before you're about to give a speech to the people, aliens attack. The Zinyak Empire starts abducting your crew, and after a pretty hilarious romp through the White House, you're captured by Emperor Zinyak himself. After breaking out of this 50s television show-themed prison, in which you fight your way out of by wreaking havoc, you find yourself in a version of Steelport that's much like The Matrix, where Zinyak's goal isn't to kill the player, but it's merely to break the player, with forms of torture a la the Wardens.
That sounds cool and all, but Matt, seriously, what about the open world?
Alright, so when it comes to the open world, it's very similar to the 3rd. All of the stores are the same, and I didn't notice any big differences with the clothing, but the gun and car modification shops do offer new upgrade and customization options. You'll now be able to upgrade a gun's recoil, reload speed, clip size, damage, and all of that other typical video game gun upgrade stuff. Cars follow suit in this as well, allowing you to upgrade the handling, speed, as well as equipping your car with the Saints Row favorite, kneecappers. But cars aren't the only way to get around Steelport this time around. Saints Row 4 introduces superpowers to the formula, which give you the ability to sprint incredibly fast, jump extraordinarily high, glide across the city, and shoot balls of ice from your hands. These powers don't negate the use of cars, as the super sprinting is still governed by your sprint meter. It does, however, make it a lot easier to catch up to that car you have your eye on. After playing with these powers for a couple hours, Saints Row 4 feels like it could be one of the best superhero games out there.
So Matt, after previewing Saints Row 4, what are your overall impressions of the game itself?
I think it's fantastic. I mean, like I said, if the game is anything like this preview was, it's going to be a really, really great game. I thought some of the changes they made were really great. The fact that they're in kind of like this virtual reality prison kind of gives them opportunities to do things like make the radio available anywhere in the entire game. So doing like an activity like insurance fraud is just that much more magical by hearing "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing" by Aerosmith. And
yeah, the humor is definitely still there.
Yeah, totally. I mean, everything about it so far has looked and played absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to play more of it. I've always thought Saints Row the 3rd was just one of the most intelligent pieces of design of this past generation, just because it embodies the most important aspect of a video game, the fun, and just runs with it in everything it does. And Saints Row 4 seems to be doing the exact same thing, but even more than that. And I can't wait to play this game.
Wow. Well, that's strong words right there. Well, I guess that's all we had to really show and say about it.
Yeah.
I think there's only one last thing left to do. That's finish off with some good old-fashioned dubstep.
Agreed.